We're talking almost 7,000 code commits in just 68 days. Now, that speed drew a ton of admiration. But boy, it also raised some major red flags for the security community. And you just could not have a starker contrast in how the industry giants reacted. I mean, on one side, you've got Anthropic, whose only real contribution was sending in the lawyers. And on the other side, you've got Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, and Satya Nadella personally calling him, messaging him, and even running the code themselves to give direct, unfiltered feedback, just night and day. So, as you can probably guess, the decision to join OpenAI, the biggest, most well-funded lab in the world, it fractured the very same open source community that had been cheering the project on from the very beginning. And pretty quickly, the community reaction split into about 5 distinct camps. You had the people piling on Anthropic for their whole legal first approach. You had the security hawks just sounding every alarm about the vulnerabilities. And then you had the open source purists who just saw this as a complete betrayal. But you also had folks worried about talent getting sucked out of other regions. And of course, you had the enthusiastic builders who were just excited to see what happened next. This comment from Hacker News it perfectly captured the skepticism. The sarcasm is just dripping from it. How could a project literally named OpenClaw, after being absorbed by a company now pretty famous for its closed-door approach, possibly stay open? The security people, they weren't just being philosophical. They were pointing to very real, concrete dangers. They found vulnerabilities that could lead to something called data exfiltration, which is a fancy way of saying your private information could get stolen. They also found exposed API keys, basically the digital passwords that could give attackers access to user accounts. These flaws were so bad that the big tech research firm Gartner told companies to block all downloads of the software immediately. And this problem wasn't just theoretical. When security firms actually analyze the marketplace for OpenClaw skills, these are like the add-ons that give it new abilities, they found that a huge number were either actively malicious or dangerously flawed. That whole move fast and break things approach had created a security nightmare with very real-world consequences.